Some things are so ingrained in our life, we don't even think about them until they're gone. We don't think about clean drinking water until we see a toxic train wreck wipe out a town in Ohio. We don't think about how nice it is to spend time with our friends and family until the government locks us all down. And we don't think about how important a free press is until the government tries to squeeze the life out of it. And we're seeing that happen today. Democrats colluded with the FBI, CIA, and big tech to censor us and hijack elections. The two journalists who broke the story testified in front of Congress today.
Twitter, Facebook, Google, and other companies developed a formal system for taking in moderation requests from every corner of government, from the FBI, the DHS, even the CIA, is making lists of people whose opinions, beliefs, associations, or sympathies are deemed misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation. As someone who grew up a traditional ACLU liberal, this mechanism for punishment and deprivation without due process is horrifying.
The censorship industrial complex combines established methods of psychological manipulation, some developed by the U.S. military during the global war on terror, with highly sophisticated tools from computer science, including artificial intelligence. Federal government officials, agencies, and contractors have gone from fighting ISIS recruiters and Russian bots to censoring and deplatforming ordinary Americans and disfavored public figures. The government no longer needs a predicate of calling you a terrorist or an extremist to deploy government resources to counter your political activity. The only predicate it needs is simply the assertion that the opinion you expressed on social media is wrong.
This is exactly the type of corruption journalists are supposed to air out. Keep in mind, both of these reporters are liberal. Because of these two guys, the country knows that the government used big tech to silence us. They should be celebrated. But Democrats aren't happy because Democrats win when Americans are silenced. Now Democrats are showing their true colors. The Democrats only like a free press if the press works for them. Democrats can't refute the claims that big tech's censoring conservatives, so they smeared the journalists who broke the story, or should I say, so-called journalists.
This isn't just a matter of what data was given to these so-called journalists before us now. There are many legitimate questions about where Musk got the financing to buy Twitter.
The so-called journalists then fact-checked the so-called congresswoman.
I've been a reporter for 30 years and a staunch advocate of the First Amendment. Much of that time was spent at Rolling Stone magazine. Ranking Member Plaskett, I'm not a so-called journalist. I've won the National Magazine Award, the I.F. Stone Award for Independent Journalism, and I've written 10 books, including 4 New York Times bestsellers.
Sounds like a real journalist to me. Well, what other bullets do Democrats have in the chamber? Well, reporters are only in it for the money.
Now, I'm not asking you to put a dollar figure on it, but it's quite obvious that you've profited from the Twitter files. You hit the jackpot on that Vegas slot machine to which you referred. That's true, isn't it?
I've also reinvested.
You've made some. No. Is it true that you have profited since you were the recipient of the Twitter files? You've made money. Yes or no?
I think it's probably a wash, honestly.
No, you have made money that you did not have before, correct?
But I've also spent money that I didn't have before. I just hired a whole group of people to investigate.
Patently obvious answer, reclaiming my time.
So Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's made millions off, trading stocks as a congresswoman, is accusing journalists of making a few $1,000s from reporting the news. And what makes reporters successful is having great sources. If your sources pan out, readers trust your reporting. And good reporters spend years gaining sources on the inside. Now, they gain their trust and then report the information fairly and accurately. But the number one rule of any reporter is to keep your sources confidential. That protects your source and it protects your reporting. And if you burn a source, your scoops are toast and future sources will never trust you. And Democrats know this because Democrats in Congress are the sources for hundreds of reporters in the media. All they do is leak scoops to the reporters, so the reporters spin them that way for the Democrats' rise to power. But now Democrats used a congressional hearing to try to force journalists to betray their sources.
Did Mr. Musk contact you, Mr. Taibbi?
Again, the attribution for my story is sources at Twitter.
Mr. Schellenberger, did Mr. Musk contact you?
Actually, no.
Mr. Taibbi, have you had conversations with Elon Musk?
I have.
Okay.
Mr. Tybee, did Mr. Musk place any conditions on the use of the
Would the gentlelady yield for a second?
as long as my time is not used?
Are you trying to get journalists?
No, I'm not trying to
expose
get.
their sources?
No, I'm not.
Well,
I
that
am
sure sounds
asking.
like it.
No.
It didn't stop there. The Democrats are out for blood. They want to punish these journalists for blowing up the silent censorship arm of the Democratic Party. These reporters need to be broken just to send a message to the rest of the press. Don't cross the line.
So you're not going to tell us when Musk first approached you?
Again, Congressman, when
So
you're
you have to
asking me
say
to,
yes or
you're
no.
asking a journalist to reveal a
So
source.
then you consider Mr. Musk to be the direct source of all this?
No, now you're trying to get me to say that he is the source. I
Well,
just
it
can't answer
either
your
is or
question.
he isn't. If you're telling me you can't answer because it's your source, well, then that the only logical conclusion is that he is, in fact, your source.
Well, you're free to conclude that.
Well, sir, I just don't understand. You can't have it both ways, but let's move on because
Well, no, he can. He's a journalist.
No, he can't, because either Musk is the source and he can't talk about it, or Musk is not the source. And if Musk is not the source, then he can discuss
No one
his
has yielded. The
conversations with
gentlelady's out of
source.
order. You don't get
And
to
she's
speak
out of
every
order
time.
Gentlelady is
because
not
he's
recognized. The
interrupted.
gentlelady is not
Mr. Chairman,
recognized.
You're not recognizing my time.
He has not said that.
I don't.
By
What he has
talking
said
about
is he's
his-
not going to
Chairman,
reveal his source. And the
I
fact
did
that
not yield
Democrats
my
are
time
pressuring
to
him
the
to do
chairman
so
or
is
the
such a
We're not.
violation
We're
of the
asking
First
him about
Amendment.
his
Have my time
conversations
back,
with
please.
Musk.
Gentlelady has not yielded you time.
Democrats have always had a problem with journalists who report on their dirt. Remember, Obama spied on a Fox News reporter back in 2010? Took his phone records, tracked his movement, even stole his emails. Biden must have been taking notes because the president sent the Federal Trade Commission after Elon Musk, demanding Musk rat on the journalists he worked with. Now, House Democrats don't want a private company to talk to a reporter that House Democrats don't approve of. So Biden's Federal Trade Commission launched an investigation.
On Tuesday, the majority released an 18-page report claiming to show that the FTC is, quote, harassing Twitter. Oh my, poor Twitter.
If Democrats can't own Twitter, no one can play with it. The federal government's crippling the free press. Oh my, poor free press. Democrats can't win elections fairly. They know they can't persuade voters their policies are better. So the only thing keeping them in power is collusion and censorship. They don't even understand what they're censoring. They don't even understand how Twitter works or who the reporters are who broke the story. Listen to this.
In your answer, you also said that you were invited by a friend, Barry Weiss.
My friend Barry Weiss.
So this friend works for Twitter, or what is her?
She's a journalist.
Sir, I didn't ask you a question. I'm now asking Mr. Schellenberger a question. Please
Yes,
do
ma'am.
not
Barry Weiss is a
interrupt.
journalist.
I'm sorry, sir.
She's a journalist.
She's a journalist. So you work in concert with her.
Yeah.
So you're in this as a threesome.
There was many more people involved than that.
It's more like an orgy. But anyway, Democrats got caught conspiring with the FBI and big tech to censor free speech and freedom of the press, and they're not even denying it. They're just accusing the reporters who broke the story of being in it for the money and hounding them about who told them about their corruption. Who told you I was corrupt? Give me a name. This is coming from the same people who spent years telling us not to bully the media, remember? And how important the free press was to democracy.
The Fourth Estate is vital to a functioning democracy. The notion that you would threaten them or call them an enemy of the state or try to delegitimize a press, that kind of bullying behavior we haven't seen to the extent that we've seen it recently.
What we're witnessing right now is just this erosion of our freedoms in terms of covering the President of the United States.
Journalists have a special responsibility to our democracy in a time like this. The best journalism happens when you take a stand.
Really? Well, Trump called reporters fake news because they wrote bogus stories about collusion. That's all he did. He just called them phonies and liars. What are the Democrats doing? The Democrats have launched an investigation into a breaking news team, or threesome, demanding to see sources under oath, slapping subpoenas on presumed sources. These honest reporters broke a story about actual collusion and are being strangled at a House hearing. The other reporters who broke a story about fake collusion got book deals and Pulitzer Prizes. And the FBI sources for the fake collusion scoops are the same ones who got exposed by the real collusion scoop. And what exactly did the Democrat censorship regime not want people to say? You ready? You weren't allowed to say natural immunity. You weren't allowed to say lab leak. You weren't allowed to say Hunter Biden's laptop. And now you are again. You're allowed to say whatever you want. And the Democrats don't like it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.